National anthem on 4th of July weekend here at Memorial Park, just outside Columbus. And let's take a look at our starting lineups now. First for the Ohio Aviators, and we mentioned what a great balanced scoring team they've got, and they're getting a lot of tries from the players in their forward pack. Farina and Calm actually second and third behind Spike Davis in tries.
Yeah, that's right. That's the loose trio right there doing their job, not just by the breaking points, but getting points on the board too. So very dangerous combination there in the 6, 7, and 8. Keep an eye on them today.
Ohio leads all pro rugby in tries and points, and those gentlemen, no small part of the reason. 10 tries for the leader in Spike Davis, but Alex Elkins, another former football player, has just been outstanding. Those guys have been unstoppable when they get the ball.
No, I mean, you're looking at the two wings, 11 and 14. I mean, you want to use the world class at the moment. They've just been dominating their positions, and once again, those are definitely two players to keep an eye on today.
For San Diego, they have a lot of key players in their lineup that they did not have in the last game, and we see here in their backfield, Mike Teo, he talked about him, but really Pono Haitsuka is known as the Flying Hawaiian, and Ryan Matias, those guys can all go the distance anytime they get the ball, and Kurt Marat, the leading scorer in pro rugby.
That's right. See, this is the way I look at it. With Teo being the gel in the back line, once he gets into play, he's going to set those guys away, so Ohio is going to have to defend really well in their back line.
And in the forward pack for San Diego, they've also got key players that missed the last game. Joe Tafetti there, the #1. He's a member of the USA Eagles. Bruce Thomas, they call him Gorgeous Bruce. He's a real key guy that missed the last game. And Cecil Garber is the leading tackler in pro rugby.
No, I mean, there you go. They just have to gel and to stop Ohio moving forward. So, we're in for a tough game. This game is a lot closer than the stats would like to point out at the moment. So I think we're in for a cracker today, Greg.
What are the keys to the game that you picked beforehand?
Well, one of the things that we want to look at here is Ohio is going to have to, be on the breaking points again. They would have to get that ball out to the back line, and they want to make sure that the ball gets to the wing. Getting the ball out wide is definitely going to favor Ohio. But then in contrast, you want to have San Diego is going to have to dominate the rocks and mauls. I mean, we've looked at their forwards that are fantastic. Their cross defense is going to be key. If they don't stop the back line of Ohio, it's game, set, and match. But in addition, they've got a great back line, so they got to spread the ball wide themselves.
San Diego kicks to Ohio, and we are underway with a game that, as we said, very much is a playoff type game, a must win for San Diego, and very possibly a must win for Ohio as well, as they still have played one fewer game than Denver, and they cannot afford to let Denver get back up on them again.
Yeah, there's the dangerous Teo. Let's see what he does. He hoists the up and under.
He runs the ball much more often than kicks, but he goes up that time. Players collide together, and Ohio comes up with possession.
Yeah, those are the breaking points. Ohio would need to get this ball out.
And they fan out, ready to pass the ball down the line, but instead it's stolen. And San Diego, if they can find open space, they're very dangerous. Here's a very dynamic 8-man, Sione Tuahalamaka.
Penalty advantage, offside red.
And they pitch it out left.
The Breakers are definitely showing some great intensity in the forwards at the moment early in the game.
They get it back, and this time go to the wide side of the field. Out it goes for Drew Suniula. He's the brother of Roland Suniula. Both players have played for the USA Eagles. Roland, of course, a key member for the Aviators.
Yeah, rugby runs deep in that family.
Tai Tuasamosa trying to crash up the middle. Kick the ball forward. And the Aviators come up with it. Here is Zach Mizell playing his first game at fullback, but it's really his natural position. He's played in other positions as necessary.
It shows the versatility of the player, and a good clearance kick. No, didn't find touch.
Here we go. This is Teo.
Another up and under, big high kick, trying to get his players underneath it.
Got a rather stiff wind, and that could affect the ball up in the air, so that might be something we'll see more frequently in this game. And Ohio comes out, nearly a chance to break through that first wave of defense.
Oh, I have to be careful for the penalty there. and they are going to give one away. Holding on to the ball, he was isolated there, and Kurt Weaver there's pointing that out.
There are our game officials, Scott Green, Jamie Miller, and Mark Mann.
Now, with a very, very strong crosswind here, they are going to go for the 3.
And of course, with Kurt Morath, they've got practically a machine as far as converting kicks is concerned. He has 104 points. He recently became the first player in pro rugby history to eclipse the 100-point mark. He did that in their last outing, a narrow loss to San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, he is the leading point scorer. That's got to say something by itself. He'll be looking at these goals, looking at the goals to add an extra 3 points. He's about, I would say, roughly about 30 meters out. That's the angle.
Import from New Zealand. And of course, they produce a number of outstanding rugby players, a very large number of them.
Being the #1 sport, let's see how he addresses this ball as he stares at the upright. And he's going forward.
Be a somewhat more challenging kick due to the wind. He puts the ball up, and it is across the face.
Yeah, the flags are going to stay down. That wind is definitely a factor. Ohio getting out of jail there. Score still 0-0.
That was a very difficult kick. That was just inside the 40. And with that prevailing wind, it definitely made it rather complex computations to try to figure out how to get it between the uprights. 22-meter drop in.
Nice and deep.
And San Diego, here's where the game could be won for them if they can get their runners out in the open. But again, they seem to be opting for those up and under kicks.
Another high one, and well fended by
ball stolen by Sebastian Kalm, and he breaks away. He is the second leading try scorer in pro rugby, and it looked like he might just break through everyone there.
Yeah, no, tackler not rolling away. It's going to be a penalty against San Diego. Let's look at this. Both of them were up. Sebastian Kalm went up. Great player. Hold on to the ball. Got 10, 15 yards, 20 yards forward. But the penalty afterwards against San Diego for not releasing as they made the tackle on that man on the screen. The captain there, Sean Davies.
Kalm, the Chilean, you saw the way he went up and just bodied Heitsuka right out of the way. And Heitsuka's an outstanding talent, but he gives away a little in size to a number of these Aviator players. And now an opportunity for Sean Davies to go for goal here.
Yeah, they see if he can navigate this wind. See if he can get his Aviator wings to carry that ball over the crossbar.
It's a crosswind, so it will affect his kick in the same way that it did Morath's.
Yeah, he's about 35 meters out. Is it going to have the legs?
And it just has the distance to clear. And Sean Davies has put the Ohio Aviators ahead 3-0 over the San Diego Breakers, and he's pleased with the outcome of that kick. Just enough on it.
You see there Captain Courageous with a big smile on his face.
Good crowd here out at Memorial Park. Part of their holiday weekend, spending it at a Memorial Park, watching outstanding rugby, and the team that, quite honestly, I think that conventional wisdom has it now is the team to beat in pro rugby. Although certainly the Denver Stampede are very much alive, as are the San Diego Breakers team, but they have to come up with the upset today.
Yeah, Spike Davies that fielded the ball right there.
Ohio working the ball down the line on the left, but then mishandled and picked right back up, and breaking away goes Cecil Garber, and San Diego with a chance for a quick strike back as they work the blind side.
Yeah, poor defense there, and now they have to defend their try line.
Just mishandling one ball can make a big difference. It can be a game changer, but here they're very well defended, and there's simply no open space. Finally,
2 out.
Coming up with the ball is Phil McKenzie, known as the Dragon, for his very, very tough, fiery type of play. And perhaps some other reasons. He said it was a long story. As the Breakers lose the ball in turn, and it is Ohio getting out of jail again.
Inside.
Alex Aiken standing strong there.
Elkins, one of the former football players who have been so strong, as Davis and Elkins College is opened a branch here in Columbus, with Spike Davis and Alex Elkins being a tremendous 1-2 punch. And it will be San Diego putting the ball in on the lineouts.
Yeah, Zach Mitchell there getting a lot of distance on the ball with the wind taken into account.
This is Mikey Sassini, who will put the ball in. They find the jumper and try to maul it forward. With Ohio, we saw them just totally dominant with their rolling ball against San Francisco. There was just basically nothing they could do to counteract it. Here is the ball out. Charlie Purdon, outstanding scrum half, out for Ryan Mateus, a former Eagle who has tremendous breakaway speed, one of many who has that. He got taken down, but only after he made big headway near the red zone.
Yeah, well, in the first 10 minutes, it's literally all San Diego. They're throwing everything at the Aviators. Aviators' defense is holding up.
Good hit there on Joey Taffetti. He was a big loss for San Diego in the last game. Out wide, right side, Sassini. He ran into a very strong hit, courtesy of Calm.
And it's going to be a penalty. The referee said didn't fall behind the last man coming in from the side. That's going to be a penalty. When you are in there, you have to come from behind. And let's have a look here. Great defense by Elkin. They're competing for the ball.
Don't back through the tackle the wrong way. Just go your own way.
While we out of screen there, but nevertheless.
Now
Morath is going to have another attempt at goal, and this time the camera will be seeing the angle that he's seeing.
It shows the confidence in the Ohio defense. The reaction on the sidelines at that penalty call was very, one of being very upset. But what it does is San Diego's taken the 3-point opportunity and rather than the 7, and that shows Ohio felt like, hey, we can stop these guys. And it shows San Diego that they'll take the points so they can get them.
Well, that's smart rugby. You want to difficult conditions today with the forecast. Let's see, crowd on the flag will tell you.
But that one's going to go wide again. So the top kicker in pro rugby is 0 for 2, but it is very difficult out on this pitch here today with the wind.
That deceiving whirlwind pushes that ball out.
Nonetheless, if San Diego is going to win this match, it's certain that they cannot afford to squander any opportunities they get.
Let's see if Taylor Howden, if he's going to go deep again. Now he's going to try to get his forwards.
Right. Ball was about to be accepted by Haitsuka, but teammate ended up taking it, and they get on the move.
You got to give credit to the San Diego Breakers. They keep on moving forward. They keep possession, and you know, to say to the Ohio Aviators, you can't win a game without the ball. When
they played Denver in their last meeting, as Teo kicks it forward tactically and finds touch.
Yeah, you overcooked that a little bit. It's gone out on the full. That's a you know, it's going to go down as a mistake, and then his books he'll be disappointed in himself. That's, you know, not the standards that he's used to.
But in that earlier match against Denver, San Diego controlled possession for 75 to 80% of the first half, and they had the lead, but not a big enough one. But they're doing much the same thing here today, showing that they can control the tempo of the match early on, at least. But Ohio's a team that can really wear you down.
Whoa! So Spike Davies is going to be penalized there. He's on your screen, as you can see. Got brought down. Did not release the ball for that. Trying to maybe do too much there. But the referee said he was held in the tackle, which means he would have to let the ball go before he can play it again.
SMU football player Davis.
Time off.
10 tries to lead the league, and
can you get this time rugby ball on, Jamie?
Well, San Diego going to go for it again.
Time on.
And Marath, he had a kick here from a similar location, and I'm sure that he made some mental calculations as to why the last one didn't go across. as we see Paul Barford. He was actually named what you call the player of the week last week in pro rugby. I guess everyone was so impressed with the game plan and the way they executed it.
No, absolutely. But you know, to bring us back here to Kurt to see if he can draw level here with the Aviators. This will be his 3rd attempt. Like you said, Greg, very similar position as the first kick.
See if he makes any sort of adjustment. The wind has not really shifted since the earlier attempt.
A little bit more force. That looks good. It's going to go up.
And the flags go up. And we have a tie score here at 3. And with a kicker the quality of Kurt Marath, he might miss a couple just because he's trying to zero in, but he's not going to continue to miss.
No, you know, if anything, the Aviators are a little lucky to find themselves level at the moment. Like I said, in his own standards, leading the points at the moment for the Pro League.
Ray Egan, the head coach for the San Diego Breakers, and he felt his team learned a lot from their last trip here that they can perhaps apply in playing a stronger game this time.
Yeah, I mean, Ray's got the wealth of experience, you know, from Ireland, played a lot of rugby down there, did a lot of coaching, does a lot of coaching in the California region also, and trust me, he would have made some notes, and he didn't come here today to lose.
Still tough. They got in 11 o'clock last night after the long flight from the West Coast. It's always tough to win on the road in pro rugby.
Oh, and Ohio's going over the rock. That's a bad mistake.
Diving at the rock. You can't keep your feet.
You got to stay on your feet, as you heard the referee sit there, and that's no way for the Aviators to start this first half.
You get a little pent up in this game, but you've got to keep mindful of the fundamentals as they kick for touch, and fine touch. It will be a line out. They didn't gain a lot of territory on that kick, but nonetheless they move it up.
Well, that'll
distance.
That'll be an indicator of the wind. The crosswind kind of blowing right into the Breakers at the moment.
Going high for the jumper, got it there. And they're out wide left. Inside handoff, and look at that, just plowing right over the top of the tackler. And now another inside handoff, and a heavy hit there laid on by McIntosh right at the halfway line.
The referee is definitely gonna call. There's gonna be some talking right here.
Where do you land? Where do you land?
He's putting his hand in his pocket.
No, where did he land on his body?
Let's have a
Ball
look.
Here?
Actually, it was McTiernan.
You'll see McIntosh standing on the right.
Time off.
Oh,
look, it was Ryan McTiernan.
That's right.
He and McIntosh are like bookends.
So here's the thing.
He's the one who laid on that heavy hit.
Yeah, that's a spear tackle, and if you're gonna go through the 180,
I couldn't tell where he landed.
that if he lands on his head, that will be a red card.
That's the thing that separates rugby from American football.
4 red. Thank you. Captain.
Okay.
Sean.
In American football gridiron, everybody would be saying what a great tackle that was.
Exactly.
It's a dangerous tackle. Absolutely must take care of the player in the air. It's dangerous. It's careless.
It's careless. He's lucky to get a yellow, another red. Dangerous tackle. In rugby, there's a lot of rules around the tackling, rightfully so, to keep the safety of the game.
American football has a lot to learn in that respect from this sport.
Just to go back to that, once you lift a player off his feet and he goes through the 180, you're going to have to put him down. And if he falls, if you do go through the 180, like I said, the ref had an option there. If it was a little bit more severe, he would have found a red card and he would have been out of the game. But he will be sitting in the bin for the next 10 minutes.
A troubling trend for Ohio early in this match is they've been making some mistakes. San Diego has had the territorial control. They played most of this first half in the Ohio side of the field.
Yeah, see, here's the problem for Ohio at the moment. The Breakers, for the first 15 minutes, definitely with the forwards, have been over Ohio.
Not straight.
And, you know, now with one player missing, it's going to be an uphill battle for the Aviators to keep the score where it is at the moment.
They get to put in on this line out here. Things have always gone well for Ohio on their home field, and they have exerted their dominance, but sometimes things can take a different turn. Really, one of the keys for Ohio has been to keep their players from getting overconfident when they play here, and realizing that every game is a one-off game, and
that's right.
Coach Parford's phrase.
If you look there, Dominic Waldock there trying to get his team out of out of jail and you know, put too much on it, and it went out in the full. And you're going to see the line out. San Diego will be getting to feed the ball in the line out right on the 22. So
troubling trend for Ohio continues as they have not been executing on the level that they typically have in the earlier matches they've played here. And this is a team that can make you pay for that.
San Diego's in a great position.
But they have not been able to dent the Ohio defense for a try as yet. Here we go to Suniula, Drew Suniula.
Great rush defense there.
They get it out wide for Heitsuka.
And
he just gets tossed around by Alex Elkins.
That is one strong man, I'll tell you that.
And then the ball mishandled by Taffetti, but it's recovered by Cecil Garber, who made a break for the try line earlier and was narrowly stopped. Sassini testing the defense. Again, they go out, this time for Ian Carpenter.
Yeah, they're working the blind side, They might go wide.
And they could open things up on the other side. Instead, it's Taffetti with a crash right at the heart of the defense, trying to soften them up. They go to Tai Tuasamosa now. They just keep making one thrust after another, then try to go wide, but then stop cold.
Fantastic defense there by the Ohio Aviators back line. Loud whistle. Well done.
So I said earlier, they were upset when a call was made that gave San Diego a free chance at a three. They're so confident in their defense, especially close to the try line.
Yeah, no, that was great defense right there. Dedication, which brought us to the penalty. And Taylor Howden will get a chance to get a lot of boot on it, and he does. That's a fantastic kick.
It's an outstanding stop by Davis. And you saw San Diego, they kept trying to attack them in the middle and then try to get defenders there. They go out wide and score, but Ohio having none of it.
That's right. Well, that shows the heart of the Ohio Aviators. With Howden there getting some good distance on the ball. If they can win this ball, it'll be a good start.
And they do indeed, as Haddon goes up and grabs it. The story of this first half has been the Ohio defense. Play the ball forward.
Great little grubber kick there.
Trying to run onto it, but Teo is able to clear it back. Upfield, and now it's Haddon taking off with it again.
Hiding the 8th man all the way from South Africa, Pretoria.
Davies, McIntosh, they clean out for Mizell, pitches it back across for Fawcett, the butcher, as he is so affectionately known as. He got stopped, but that was an impressive bit of ball control. The first real offensive thrust we've seen all game by the Aviators.
Look at there, Jamie McIntosh getting the ball out there to Zach, inside to the butcher, and they all go down. Nevertheless, end of the day, there's going to be a penalty for Ohio, and it seems like they are going to opt to go.
Just tackled him, so sort of rolled with him and the head hit the ground. A penalty?
So, I saw it, yep. We're good.
All right, there's a little scuffle going on here. Referee saw it. Penalty is going to stay.
Taylor Howden is going to go for a touch here.
Precision kick is needed right now. And that's a beautiful kick. The magician.
Really made the ball appear right where they needed it to. And they're going to be able to feed this line out in a very favorable position. Taylor Howden, who missed the early part of the season with injury, is back. Proud father. He became just a couple of weeks ago and really injected tremendous life into this Aviator team.
Let's see if they're going to do the rolling maul again.
They were just an irresistible force against San Francisco with this, and they're doing it again.
Hold on, that's a try line, and over they go!
And they put it down for the first try of the match.
What a sensational try. Once again, the rolling maul.
Well, it's going to get around the league. What can we do to stop Ohio when they go into that?
That is, once again, the butcher pulling this one off. Way to go, Mr. Fawcett.
You see here, San Diego putting up as much resistance as they can, but as I said, just an irresistible force. And Fawcett senses he's across, touches the ball down for the try.
That is a great forwards try. Everybody doing their part, and the try line, and over he goes for 5.
And that's a good example.
Butcher.
We mentioned that Ferrarini and Calm, 2nd and 3rd in the league in tries as forwards, and there's how you get forward tries, you say, as a player down being attended to, as Sean Davies gets set for the conversion attempt.
That's Sebastian Calm. Well, Davies now has try and get the extra 2 points on. Crowd goes silent.
This turning into a match where it could well be that every point is pivotal as they come rushing on.
Well,
but it does not disturb the kick.
Greg, I want to say something. As Teo was running, tried to run him down, he kept calm and he still slotted that kick. That is why he is the captain. He's so cool, calm, and collective on the field. Great tackler, all-around leader is Sean Davies.
So Ohio goes up 10-3. And they will receive the kick and will try to continue to build this momentum, as we really saw them make some things happen offensively for the first time after San Diego had controlled the ball in their half for most of this first 20 minutes of play.
Rickard Hutting going in there again.
Once again, they feed it down the line, looking very strong. Waldock gives it off to Mizell, now to Elkin. Elkin blasting forward and holding on for dear life there was Haitsuka. Stopped him from breaking away, but they still have control.
They recycled this ball well.
Howden out for Waldock, wide right. And an errant ball though, and it's intercepted. Phil McKenzie, the Dragon, breaking away with it. They come up with him. He didn't have anyone to offload the ball to.
The Butcher dragged him down. Same man who
The
scored the
Butcher caught the Dragon. And San Diego, though, threatening again. And as once more, Ohio stops them, denies them the try line through a great defensive effort. This time, just running him down.
Ball down to the Butcher.
But the threat is not over yet.
Great defense from Ohio once again. Can they hold strong?
6 release.
Stops Suniula.
No.
This time a fake out right, and
Slowing.
Bruce Thomas.
Referee is holding his arm up for a penalty. Ohio winning over the offside line.
San Diego continuing to play the advantage. And now the whistle.
No advantage. Let's see what they do. Do they take the 3?
Clear tackle assist. Tackle release 6.
There you have it. There you have it from the ref. And this would be very interesting. And yes, they are going to take the 3 on offer. Break that lead down to 4 points if they can convert this.
We saw this at the beginning of the San Francisco match
We have to fix the last foot.
last week, where San Francisco took the 3s when they had the chance, but then it started turning into trading 3 points for 7. At some point, San Diego is going to have to find the try line, but they can't bypass a chance to get what stands as essentially an automatic 3 points with Marath.
Well, Marath's should be a formality for him. Boom, 3 points.
And there it is to narrow the gap to 10-6.
Well, here's the interesting stat. Ohio is 1 man down, and since that has happened, they have put more points on the board. So, as a matter of fact, this will be very interesting to see.
Ray Egan, but this could be a game-changing play. This could have been a try for San Diego, but for Dylan Fawcett, the Butcher,
look at that.
running him down, saving the play.
Slaying the Dragon right there is the Butcher.
Yeah, well said. And as a result, Ohio still leads, and that ball is lost. Tried to just clear it, but finally the whistle goes, and a miscue by San Diego puts them in some trouble.
Yeah, it's a little sloppy. Nevertheless, you know,
Hey guys, here's our mark.
we have Ryan McTiernan getting back on the field. So it will be 15 against 15 again, and this will be great relief for Ohio. Also, this will sense a little bit of panic through San Diego that they couldn't muster the extra points.
Well, and what we learned last possession for Ohio when they scored is that San Diego can't afford to give the ball to Ohio this deep in their territory because they have the capability of just rolling right over them.
Exactly. They 1 for 1 in the danger zone. This is the second time that they're there. Let's see what they can come up with.
Sean Davies feeding the scrub.
Strong scrum from Ohio.
Davies couldn't snatch it up. Now he does. And they start off. Intricate combination there as Waldock had it.
Waldock getting crush tackle there by 2 players.
And they work it out for Ferrarini.
Loud tackle diving onto the rock. That's going to be a penalty for Ohio. This will put them
Back to the scrum.
in a very, very interesting position. And Davies now with the rain coming down quite strongly decided let's take the 3 points on offer.
You think that might be one of the reasons they made that decision?
Well, I can assure you as the rain is coming down pretty steadily now, it's definitely going to influence the score line. You know, and then Greg, actually, what I was going to get on is trying to get that ball straight in the line and fielding the ball in the line out gets more difficult as you go on. Nevertheless, it's an easy 3 points. Take it while you can. This will stretch the lead out again.
After the way they were able to roughhouse their way in the last time, and they've been a team, Ohio, that often they eschew these 3-point attempts. But it might be a little bit more complicated now with the changed conditions. And Davies slices the uprights to bring the margin back to 7 points. Talk a little bit about how you think the rain might affect this game.
Well, here in Ohio, the field is the grass is a lot longer as it is in the California region. With the water now, the rain hitting the grass, the field's going to get heavy. Balls are going to get slippery. You should see a lot more of a kicking game. The fly halves, the fullbacks will be trying to kick for possession, trying to kick for the touchline, and trying to keep your forwards in front of the ball is what you need to do now.
It's tough enough for visiting teams to play here in this thicker tuft of grass, and now they have the rain to contend with as well. But it might slow down Ohio somewhat too, as we saw what they're capable of when they get out in the open. But San Diego has that same capability. Good take there on that kick.
Yeah, Spike Davies is leaping up in the air.
Now they work it out to Sebastian Kalm.
Waldock.
Finds Waldock. Waldock an offload, and here they go off to the races, trying to just get out of the traffic.
Wow, and still they go.
Working the ball just over the halfway line, over the 40. And they're starting to look sharp in spite of the rain falling down. They're handling the ball expertly, although they missed that one, picking it up on a bound though and keeping the play going.
Referee said that was good, and
Here
Beach is
goes
going.
Demekus Beach. Beach off. Waldock waiting, offloads, diving across for the try.
And the
Fawcett
Butcher,
again.
the Butcher with a double. Slice me another one, Butcher. Well done. A fantastic try. For a split second there, I thought the ball didn't go to hand. Referee judged it to go laterally, and look at Waldock. Waldock inside to the Butcher. Over he goes. 5 points.
Tremendous offload. He waited until the defender committed to him. And Fawcett was wide open, and the Butcher dives across.
Well, let me tell you, you know, Dominique Waldock, what a fantastic world-class sender. You know, the dummy, and then once again the presence of mind to play it out. And he had 2 men on the outside in the likes of Waldock and Davies. Either one of them could have scored it. But brilliant play all around.
One of the theories is that Butcher moniker comes from his likeness to a movie character. There may be other theories that abound.
Well, he's known in Ireland by his friends, the Butcher. Nickname kind of stuck here in Ohio also.
And this is through.
And Davies, the kicking machine, adds an extra 2 points.
And that is huge, as what had been a very, very close match now opens up a 14-point margin, and we start to get into this trade 3 points for 7 routine, which obviously is very favorable to Ohio, but the way that they were able to control the ball so well in this downpour was very impressive.
It's not just that. In the beginning, they held up in defense. They played with one man down, and here they find themselves with a 14-point lead. That was a bit of back and forth. The referee is going to go down for the first infringement, which is a knock-on by San Diego, which the scrum down, Ohio's ball. We're going to have a nice set piece here on the 10-meter line for Ohio. And this will be interesting to see what they do from here. You would probably think that Taylor Howden would try to get some distance in the corner for his team. But with the way things are going, Greg, I wouldn't be surprised if they run with the back line.
They led Denver 27-6 at the half, and a very pivotal win for them when they went to play the first place Stampede. Another converted try would bring us to the same score. They're on the verge of beginning to really take over this match. San Diego is going to have to figure out some way to stop them as they start with an opening surge. Work it out to the blind side and now try to go back across. Davies out with it, and the ball mishandled, and the whistle there for the knock-on.
Yeah, no, from one Kiwi to another. But I do think that, you know, Taylor there for a split second taking his eyes off the ball, but then again, the ball being slippery and wet.
You're moving forward nicely. They're staying in. Nice thing. You're anxious to fix it.
Hold on to it in there. I feel like on your pool. Hold on to it in there.
You can hear the Jamie McIntosh having a word with the referee, asking him the previous judgment.
San Diego, the big break for them, as they're able to feed the scrum, but they have got to figure out a way to pierce this very, very stout Ohio defense if they're going to get back into this. Threes aren't going to suffice, I don't think, at this point anymore.
It's still in that realm of where a three can do, but then again, you can't give any more points away. And one thing that Ohio's done really well in this pitch for sure is defending the try line. They are absolutely
all things being equal, the threes could help, but the way this game's been going, the way Ohio has shown their ability to, as you said, defend the try line, that's where the threes eventually aren't going to be enough.
And look at that scrum from Ohio. They are really just mushing them up.
Physically dominating them, that's the technical term, yes. And they play the ball forward over the touchline.
Yeah, all that pressure amounted to one thing, to another mistake from San Diego as they kicked the ball to get, extra distance. They overcooked it, kicked it too far, kicked it directly into touch, and Ohio will get to feed the ball right in the middle of the field.
San Diego was given a gift with a knock-on, and those are the sorts of things that you simply have to take advantage of if you're going to come in here and win. But they give the ball back to Ohio, and they win the ball off the line out, and here we go again. Hiding now.
Taking it up right in the middle.
4A, Davis out for Howden, and that ball mishandled. And the whistle finally goes.
Yeah, no, slight knock on there. It's not easy conditions. You have a crosswind, you have a lot of rain coming down. Got to keep your eyes on the ball. It's that little bit extra that you have to give right now.
Adding in consultation with Ferrarini.
Pass the on the shoulder, not on it.
Jump before you leave.
Can't be on the sleeve, on the back. Here we are.
Let's go.
Some binding issues there. Mikas Beach giving his opinion to the sir.
Another player with USA Eagle experience.
Bind.
Mikas Beach with such great temperament as he was addressing the referee and addressing that sir. Just shows you what world-class person he is.
A lot of rugby players, they seem to have that. It seems to be almost part of the culture. Suniula back. Here's a chance to find some running room. Teo has yet to really find any opening. Dragged down by Roland Suniula, and Drew Suniula comes out with the ball. Out for gorgeous Bruce Thomas. They say he's too good looking to be in the forward pack. Up it goes, Ian Carpenter. As San Diego once again threatening as they get into the red zone.
They are definitely there. Great defense from Calm.
But Calm is right there to slam the door on them again.
The referee said it was offside.
Penalty. And San Diego's threat is still alive.
Referee most likely still playing advantage. That's a try line. Lurking in the back.
San Diego had a similar situation as this earlier. They weren't able to punch the ball across. Ended up settling for 3.
This is a very important play, part of for San Diego. They need the points before halftime. Can they do it?
Just over 5 minutes remaining here. Last time they just took several thrusts up the middle, then tried to go wide and got greeted by Spike Davis.
Yeah, Ohio has to be careful not to go over that advantage line. They're standing really, really flat at the moment.
Charlie Purdon played the ball out. Teo.
Gotta have to release.
Again, they just can't find any daylight down near the try line.
But 1 meter out is San Diego. Can they get over?
They really, really need to. This is a critical juncture of this match right here.
Backward.
Backward. Showed the ref there. That's the ball. That's the try line. That's the whistle. This time's going to be stopped. Let's listen.
We're playing advantage. That took it off. Time off for me. Fall down for me.
So they still are just out from the line.
Deliberately, as well, everyone's hand on the ground is in front of that last foot. We have to get that back and fix this in this area. Each time we're down here, this happens. Let's fix it. Can I get a minute or not? Yeah.
Okay, so this is great refereeing. Referee said to the captain, if this kind of infringements intentionally is going to be happening in this zone, the next time there will be a card, because it seems like it's intentional, and whether it is or not, you're making it difficult for San Diego to cross the line, and it's illegal. So that penalty, San Diego is going to call for the scrum, which is very brave, because the previous scrum, Greg, they were under a lot of pressure.
The object is to make it difficult to cross the line, but you have to do it within the parameters. They have been making it difficult to cross the line. Ball about to be fed in.
Fine. Set.
San Diego, they're still several meters out from the line.
Need a big scrum, and once again.
And the ball is snatched up, and once more San Diego has been denied.
If there is something to be said, that's it. And a penalty against San Diego. First they win the tight head in the scrum, and now they win a penalty. And that is going to bring the guys together as a team.
Well, this has been a frustrating half for San Diego. They've controlled much of the territorial game, but they simply have not been able to get over the line when they've had several opportunities. And credit to Ohio defense. We look at this last scrum.
Rickard Hutting picks it up, goes forward, and right after we will see the penalty. But you know, everything happened in the scrum. The forwards just dominating the San Diego breakers in the front.
That is kind of the matchup here, as San Diego's strength is in their backfield. Ohio's in their forward pack. But San Diego, because of the way Ohio has dominated the play in the forward pack, they have not been able to free their back line.
Like I said in the beginning, rocks and mauls San Diego will have to dominate those if they want to win the game. And you know, the scrums and the mauls and rocks, they're losing. So you know, that's going to count against them. Well, we'll see a bit of a rolling maul.
Same line.
Right here, still going.
They break forward, and that was McIntosh. Now Davies. Now it's over to Pierce Dargan. Offloads the balls into the end zone there. Went diving for it. No one could quite come up with it.
Spike Davies, although the ball was forward when it was offloaded to him, he got a little grubber kick in, and that shows you the all-around skills of that man. Well done, Spike. That one will not go down in the books, but you know, in my book it does. Unfortunately,
gave him the opportunity.
That last pass is going forward, but look at this little grubber kick. Chases it down. Try, but no try this time.
Certainly a heady play.
Crouch.
His rugby is getting better and better as the season goes on. I won't be surprised if you see him in an Eagles jersey in the near future.
He's certainly been a dominant force here in pro rugby. San Diego trying to put some distance between their backs and their try line.
20, I believe it is. Exiting the wrong way.
They really need to not play at such close quarters because Ohio has been doing whatever they want once they get that
You're
close.
exiting through the scrum half channel.
Well,
out the side or toward your own team.
Channel right there, as you heard the referee. But there's a penalty against the Aviators, so this will bring some relief for San Diego. They will try to get a lot of distance on this ball. So they does. So they do.
That gets them out to midfield. Almost, you get the sense with San Diego that if they're going to score, they need to maybe get a breakaway run or two, the way that Teo and Haitsuka and Mateus are capable of producing, because they just haven't had success in powering it over. Ohio comes up with the ball on that line out, and they'll try to add to their tally before the end of the half as we're running down the final seconds. Of course, they'll finish the sequence of play. There's Roland Suniula, and he breaks over the 22-meter line. Hatting bursts forward. Out now for Pierce Dargan as they continue to just pound away at the interior of that San Diego defense. The horn sounds, they kick the ball forward, trying for a try that would really give them a huge psychological edge into the locker room. Teo runs the ball down and just run right through. And with that, San Diego has managed to emerge unscathed from that final sequence of play, and they will go to the locker room with a much more manageable deficit at 20-6 as opposed to possibly 27-6.
Want to head in?
Nonetheless, Ohio really started to take control of things in the latter stages of that first half after turning away several looming San Diego threats. But San Diego has not been successful playing this match in close quarters, and they have not been able to get the ball out to their game-breaking runners. And as a result, they've been held at bay, settling merely for 2 3-point goals. And it's 20-6 for Ohio at the end of the first half. And let's throw it down, Fricky Loebscher, down with Coach Barford.
Yeah, Coach, first of all, well, thank you very much for that. Coach, a tough start, but you guys ended up with good points on the board. Please take us through that.
Yeah, San Diego are always going to come out really hard on us. They're playing some good rugby. I think we're letting them into the game a bit by our own mistakes today. But we've held, defensive structures held, and we've managed to get some points on the board. And if it wasn't for that knock on there, we could have been 3 tries up. So second half is we've got to do more of the same.
Yeah, Coach, I know you want to get back right there, so thank you much for your time, and we'll see you after the game.
No problem. You can keep the hat.
Thank you.
A nice little gift there for Fricky. And Ohio leading San Diego 20-6. Credit San Diego for keeping it a match. 1 half in, and we'll be right back. Ohio leading San Diego 20-6 here at halftime at Memorial Park on 4th of July weekend. And certainly San Diego, credit to them for keeping this match close enough that they can still have some hope of coming back in the second half. But really, Ohio's defense made the difference in that first half.
All the defense of Ohio that's keeping them in front. Sean Davies with this one, it just edged over for 3 points. And they got on the board first blood. Then soon after that, scores got leveled, 3-all. And this is when that one was the miss. This one was the one that made it. But at this point, it's still 3-all. And Ohio was on the verge of giving a couple of tries away, but their defense kept up. And then they had this try where they just mauled them over from a line out. And Fawcett was the one holding the ball there, and over he goes for a very well-worked team try.
Fawcett scored there, and maybe even a bigger play by Fawcett right here.
This is definitely a key. Fawcett running down a wing, and he holds him down, and that is a critical point. If he would have missed that tackle, that would have been 5 points for all the money in the world. Score would have been way different at halftime.
It'd be a one-possession score. Morath scored that other one. That made it 10-6 at the time. But basically, that's been the difference. San Diego was not able to convert on that long run, as we see here, this beautiful try at the end. Fawcett, he's in the player of the match so far.
No, he's been doing everything right today. You know, the Butcher, you know, kudos to him.
But San Diego not able to score in close or even when they get behind the defense. They trail 20-6 at halftime here at Memorial Park. Back at Memorial Park, just about ready to start the second half. 20-6 Ohio over San Diego, and Fricky Lopshire is standing by with San Diego coach Ray Egan.
We look at the first half, the defense of Ohio kept you guys out. A great tackle that kept your wing out from scoring maybe an interception try. You find yourself trailing. Take us through that half, and what can we expect for the second half?
I suppose we didn't. Again, we're turning over the ball a little bit too easy. A couple of our defensive sets that were really good got us turnover ball, which got us a few points on the board. Probably should have taken the 3 before the half instead of the scrum. But I think a lot of it really is just we got to tighten up and we got to stretch across the field as defenders. We're probably a little bit narrow. We're getting caught out in the edges. And in fairness to Ohio, they're playing a good brand of rugby, and their offload game is quite well. So you got to try and stop it at source if we can manage that and win a bit of field position, and we try and go from there.
Appreciate it, Ray. I know you got to go back to your team. See you after the game.
Thank you.
And downfield, Ohio with it. Calculated risk. Certainly in hindsight, they could have taken the 3, but getting that 7 would have been huge toward the end of the half to try to make this would be a 1-possession game. Those 3s just aren't going to be sufficient. Sooner or later, they're going to have to start breaking for the higher number of points, but they've also got to keep this Ohio team at bay here in the second half, and that figures to be easier said than done. Box kick there by Sean Davies, fielded. See if San Diego can finally get some of their runners going. The ball is kicked forward by Marat, but right into the waiting arms of Rickard Hotting. And Ohio's back to the attack. So once again, a possible chance to find some open space goes for naught for San Diego. Davies out. First score of this second half is going to be very, very critical. Ball mishandled. Waldock back on it, and it's called for the knock on. And he was a little bit unhappy with himself, although the ball is obviously a little bit on the slippery side. He knows he should have had that one.
All right, so let's see the first real scrum of the second half, if they're going to keep the intensity. I am sure the coach Ray would have spoken to his forwards not to come so that you don't want to come undone the way that they did towards the end of the first half.
Charlie Purden, number 9, South African, about to feed the ball in. He's the one that scored the try on the final sequence of play after said 0 on the scoreboard to get San Diego a victory over Ohio at San Diego early in the season. And they once again play the ball forward.
In front.
In front of the kicker. That's going to go down as a really bad mistake, or poor mistake, so to call. So as he kicked that ball, runner in front of the kicker, and we're going to see the penalty right in the middle of the field.
Sean, scrum here or penalty here? Assuming what's penalty.
He has to ask him, as you heard the ref. There's one of two things: the scrum or the penalty.
Thank you
He will take the penalty.
What we see on display here is Howden going to kick for touch, set up a line out, but you have to play an almost perfect game here and then hope that, as Coach Paul Barford said at halftime, Ohio had made some mistakes to open the door for San Diego. You have to hope that they give you things and then you take advantage of them. So far, they haven't been able to execute San Diego, and now, once again, they're in jeopardy of falling behind by a prohibitive score. If Ohio can go in here as they win the ball off the line out.
Well, San Diego is not out of it by any means, but 14 points on this field is a lot.
If they score again, you're talking 21 points, and that is a huge order in the fortress.
Loud whistle.
Around the back.
Not falling back, number 4 for San Diego. That's a penalty. Now, this is crucial. Will Sean Davies take the 3 points, or will he try to edge them out right here and go for the line out? And exactly as thought, Trevor Howden is going to go for that precision kick.
If he can do it the way he did the last time, leave them just a few meters out, that will really set them up. Not quite as close, but still a well-directed kick.
Oh, that's right in the zone. You will most likely see the 8th man, Rickard Hattings, lining up in the middle of the scrum, on the line out there as a potential jumper. They go to 5.
Get Gargan up to take that ball. And now they will try to ram it in. And the ball is stolen, however.
That's coming from the side, referee said. There's going to be that is so malicious that the referee went into his pocket, and the yellow card.
I guess he figures, hey, it's worth a try under the circumstances.
Well, he stopped a certain try, you would imagine. Well, we can't say that because if it was for certain, the referee would have given a penalty try, so that's unfair of me to say that, but nevertheless.
But if anything's going to be called a good penalty, I suppose that'd be it.
Definitely stop the play. Here's something interesting. Ohio is now backing themselves. Instead of going for the line out of a goal, they opted for the scrum, which is one of the options you can take during a penalty. And for all the money, they most likely going to try to push them over, Greg.
Why not? It worked before. I think that's the classic strategy of keep trying it until they show they can stop it.
Put that blanket of blue jerseys together and just muscle your way forward.
San Diego, they may well
scrum holding very good.
Know what's coming, but
that's in unity. They're going forward.
Hard to stop.
That is one powerful scrum. Hatting picking it up.
They come up with it. Hatting breaks out, and they're able to contain him for the moment. San Diego exulting after the whistle.
Referee is going to call a penalty there.
Nice boys.
So they're able to come out unscathed for the moment. And we have penalty on Ohio. And once again, San Diego just on the precipice, but they're able to once again keep this score from opening up. And a score there for Ohio, obviously, as we said, would have been very, very detrimental to San Diego's cause.
Yeah, no, San Diego is going to have to get themselves out of jail here with a good kick, found touch. That will do. We have word that Mike Friday, the USA Olympic Sevens coach, is in the audience, and we're going to see if we can have a few words with him.
That's certainly very exciting, with Sevens rugby becoming a part of the Summer Olympics.
Well, I'm definitely going to ask him for my jersey.
Meanwhile, line in here for San Diego. Ohio comes out with the ball. Suniula, and he ran into McKenzie. And penalty is called here on San Diego.
Next job, boys, next job, come on.
Be careful there.
And Davies will feed the scrum. Or pardon me, Purdon will feed the scrum.
Yeah, and joining us here in the commentary box is Mike Friday. Mike, welcome to the pitch.
Yeah, thanks.
What's your thoughts, and are you scouting at the moment, or just in town for the 4th of July?
I've actually came up to see Coach Paul Holmes, but also there's a couple of boys playing that were playing in the 15s, USA 15s team the other week. So it's always helpful to keep an eye on them and see if there's any other guys putting their hands up.
I love that.
San Diego feeds a scrum, but Hatting came out with the ball. He breaks away. A desperate attempt for a tackle, but to no avail. Hatting goes in, puts the ball down, and Ohio has scored again.
Rickard Hatting all the way from South Africa, Pretoria. There'll be a few Castle Lagers enjoyed tonight there in Pretoria, I can assure you.
Well, San Diego, they had their backs to the wall a moment ago, got out of trouble, but now they're right back in it. trailing 25-6, and with a very favorable spot for a conversion, could make it 27. But Coach, very, very exciting as we see this replay here, as the ball stolen by Hatting, and he takes it in all the way for this try, and he fought off that last bid for the tackle. But to have sevens rugby involved in the Summer Olympics, and I think that the general consensus is it could go a long way towards really igniting a lot of excitement towards the sport in America.
Yeah, it could do. I mean, I think USA now and the sporting people of USA got to realise in their USA team they've got a real contender for a medal as well. The boys are working very, very hard. We're recognised around the world as real contenders for a medal at the Olympics, and hopefully if we can put a good show on down in Rio, then we can galvanise and kickstart the game of rugby in America even more, and try and capture the hearts and the imaginations of this sporting public in America who just love a great team game.
Mike, I want to add to that. You know, as the talk last year came out, when you know, countries like South Africa and New Zealand were recognizing the United States as a top tier team, that really puts us on the right platform.
Yeah, it does, and it's credit to the boys. They've earned that right. You know, we were staring relegation down the barrel kind of 2 years ago, and now we are feared by everybody. And it doesn't mean that we win every game, but we're respected as a rugby nation on the sevens world circuit, and we're capable of beating anybody on any given Sunday. And that's all you can ask for as we enter the Rio Olympics, and hopefully we can live up to the potential and kind of show our power and the pace in our game, and shock a few more of these Tier 1 rugby nations.
Now that conversion was missed. He actually wasn't able to get quite as good position after going in as originally thought. So the score remains 25-6. Nonetheless, a very sizable deficit now. That ball mishandled there for a moment. Talk about the way that perhaps the sevens game might be something that will appeal to the Americans who like the play in the backfield, and there's a lot of the things that are maybe unfamiliar to American fans, a little bit less of that in the sevens, and maybe that once they get an appreciation of that can lead to a greater appreciation of the 15s.
Yeah, I think it's an appetizer for the American sporting public. What the sevens does, it's fast, it's furious, there's momentum, there's hits, there's running lines, but the game's very simplistic in the tackle area and the ruck area, which will allow the American sporting public to start to understand the complexities of that and introduce them into the world of the tactical game of 15. So I think for the sporting public of America, who will find rugby a new game, they'll enjoy the fast moving, the aggression, the big hits, the power and the pace that's on offer, and also the enthusiasm and the energy and the passion that the game brings.
How does the rest of the world feel about sevens, the rugby world? Do they see it as sort of a diminished version of 15s, or are they as excited about it as perhaps the American public will end up being?
Yeah, I think as a spectacle and as an event, it's loved around the world by the Tier 1 nations, the Super Rugby players, the traditional Super Rugby players like New Zealand, England, South Africa, and Australia. But more importantly, it allows the developing nations, the aspirational nations like us in the USA, to compete with the big boys and be capable of winning. And I think that's the most important thing to the sporting public. On any given Sunday, anybody can beat anybody. And all you want for that kind of that sporting dream is a chance to win. That's kind of not really there in the 15s game at the moment, but within the sevens game, it is genuinely there. And the USA sporting public can believe and get behind their team because they are capable of doing the job.
Rick Marath hitting that 3-point goal, so that 25-9, they cut the margin somewhat, at least gets them on the board, San Diego here. And they'll try to mount an attack to really get back into the game.
Mike, I got one more thing for you before you leave us here. Preparation for Rio, you guys going down way early, and the concern of the mosquito thing that they got going on. Any concern for you guys, and what's the game plan?
No concerns at all really. We'll take the necessary precautions, but the reality is, there's dangers everywhere in the world, and there are mosquitoes everywhere in the world. So we just got to be mindful and be careful and be aware. But preparation's going well. The boys are working hard in camp at the moment. I think I'm not the most favourite person in the last 3 weeks that they've had to endure, kind of in terms of the physical conditioning, and we'll get to know the squad kind of the middle of July. 16 of the boys will go off to Tampa to play against the New Zealand Olympic team, and so we'll have a couple of days preparation with them, and then the final 12 will get themselves ready, and they'll leave for Rio at the end of the month. So it's a full-on month ahead for us as a squad, as we try and prepare ourselves for the battle that lies ahead in Rio.
Well, if you win a medal, you become very popular with the guys for the way you're preparing them now.
Yeah, we'll do our best.
Mike Friday, thank you very much for sharing some time with us here in the box. We really appreciate it. And good luck with the USA team.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Cheers.
That 1980 USA gold medal hockey team, they practically rebelled against Coach Herb Brooks until they won the gold medal, and then all of a sudden he was a national hero. And high hopes that the Rugby Sevens United States team will do extremely well at the Summer Olympic Games in Rio. We, of course, wish them the best of luck and behind them all the way. Roland Suniula breaking away here, but he was stopped by Bruce Thomas. It once again played the ball forward, trying to run it down and not quite getting to it.
22.
That ball, the 28 dead ball line wins the race there.
Similar to the play we saw earlier in the first half. San Diego player is down.
9. Send on the bin.
Very exciting. In fact, last week they played the high school Ohio State Sevens Championship. And I think that it's the fact that it's becoming an Olympic sport, get more and more American athletes, maybe that played other sports, into the sevens game, and then ultimately it'll feed into the 15s.
For sure. No, it's going to be exciting times for the whole world, the rugby playing nation, when the sevens hits the Olympics. Being introduced, sevens now part of the Olympics since it's been out for so many years.
Ball mishandled by Mizell. Again, probably a very slippery ball.
Zach with a nice up and under.
And handled by Purdon, and he got buried by Mizell. And Ohio came up with a ball. Mizell with the kick. He started the play and finished it.
Yeah, he always the up and under, and he made the tackle. Here it comes.
Here is Waldock. He has been a dangerous player. Made that beautiful offload to Fawcett for that score in the first half. In fact, the second of the two scores by the Butcher. But really, as we heard one of the players say in our halftime feature, the real satisfaction of play like that comes from offloading the ball. Waldock did it superbly, as here we see Ohio getting to the breakdown point, recycling the ball.
Nice little cross kick there by Taylor.
And it couldn't be handled by Haitsuka, is known as the Flying Hawaiian, but he hasn't been able to fly in this match, nor have any really of the San Diego dangerous backliners.
He'll be disappointed with fielding that ball. He did touch it, which means it went out, and the lineout will be now for Ohio. You see the face there of the coach Ray for San Diego. Not impressed with that piece of play.
You might have been a little over anxious. You wait a whole game to get a chance to run, and then it looks like you're going to get one, and maybe you think about moving upfield before you collect the ball.
Like they say, there's a lot of decision making that's going on, but here we go. Fawcett to feed the line out. Looks like Rickard Hatting taking it.
They get him high in the air to snag that one, and out come the Aviators at Ferrarini. Ferrari, or the Italian Stallion, former Italian A-side player. And there it goes now to Calm, bursting forward. Quick handoff there to Ferrarini. He got belted, but they still have control. Finally, though, it's intercepted.
Yeah, now the big man Hatting there, go for the crash ball. Hit the deck hard, ball went loose. The reason for the whistle right there. Scrum down, San Diego ball. Now here's where the math gets really interesting. Ohio needs to cross that line one more time for the fourth try to get the extra bonus point.
That's why they're atop the standings right now, is
despite
having a lesser record than the Denver Stampede.
Yeah.
3.
Well, I just want to say that Captain Sean Davies is coming up, and Robbie Shaw will be taking over for him in a 21 jersey. I just want to say hi to his mom, Sandy, there in England, as she's watching her son play today. Robbie, a very talented player.
Bristol, England. He did a great job when Davies was hurt earlier. He stepped into his shoes and kept the level of performance at that same lofty height.
Yeah, no, you can only expect good things from him. It's standing in the shoes of Sean Davies. What a capable replacement.
Big shoes to fill. He filled them extremely well. San Diego.
Scrum goes down.
Coming out with the ball, and he'll kick it clear. This is what Marath really excels in. It's his tactical kicking.
Yeah, he's dangerous, and he can punish you with the boot.
And they made extensive preparations for how to handle that, trying to make sure that 4 players deep, trying to cover all of the territory that he might go for so that they could come up with the ball without being pinned back.
Yeah, you will see that the wings, on certain plays, that the Ohio wings are falling back. So is the fullback, specifically for that dangerous boot to counter the options. Now, ball goes in deep.
It's handled by Pierce Dargan. There's a quick offload to Elkin.
Elkin
forward,
taking the crash ball.
And there's Walduck getting crashed into by Ryan Mateus. Keeps driving him forward, though.
Yeah, taking a punny beating there.
Go to the blind side to McIntosh.
McIntosh running over his opposite number.
Can run over just about anyone on this pitch. Now they're working for Hadding. 2 guys required to bring him down. Out for Howden to Suniula. Off it goes, back to Howden.
That's the try line in the background. That's begging. Ball comes wide.
Mizell, McIntosh.
Oh,
Hadding.
Can he make it?
And they're very, very close.
2 meters out.
And they look like they might just be able to pile it over if they can get the ball down.
Davies.
And they made the signal. They're saying yes, but the officials concur.
Try scored, yeah.
And the try is good.
And that is the bonus point. Spike Davies in the corner. You go, you beauty. And that will make his tally to 11 tries in the tournament thus far. Let's look at this. As the ball comes wide, Shaw, and he pushes his way, is Davies, and he wrestles it over. On the line is good.
How he was able to get that ball down is just brute strength.
That's muscle. No substitute for strength.
And that makes it 30-9 as Spike Davis, as you said, his 11th try of the year. He leads pro rugby in that department. And that will secure a 5-point victory for Ohio, which guarantees that regardless of what happens in the Denver-Sacramento match, Ohio will continue to be atop the standings in terms of points, although Denver still has played 1 fewer game.
As we have Robbie Shaw racing the ball to add the extra 2.
This will be a challenging attempt.
This is a really difficult kick.
It's got a chance, though.
That's an excellent kick. That is an excellent kick. Well done, sir. Take a bow.
Right inside the left upright. And it is 32-9. A 23-point bulge now for the Ohio Aviators.
Let's look at this kick. Miss Sandy there at home, this is your son. Well done, Robbie Shaw, for that perfect kick.
Did you teach him that technique?
Sure, she had something to do with it.
And it is 32-9. And once again, they come out with a ball, and
the
really
Italian
breakaway run for Ferrarini. He was on his horse, that's for sure.
He almost got through. Referee said that ball went forward off the hand into his hands, and there will be a scrum down for San Diego. Now, as the clock runs down, we've got about 18 minutes to go, 18 and a half. And at this point, the clock is not your friend. So if anything, it's time to cross the try line.
And we really haven't seen one occasion in this entire match where one of these really, really elusive and fast San Diego backs have gotten loose. Teo, the Denver match, he had 2 long run backs. One of them an 80-meter run. Got called back. Another one, he made a long run and offloaded for a score. They simply haven't allowed any of them to be able to do that here today.
No, it's still the rush defense for Ohio is still top-notch. I mean, the defense for the entire team if there is a trophy for defense, you know, Ohio's going to take it hands down. But like you said, Greg, there's no space for the Flyers and the San Diego team to, you know, create some space to get through. They've been cut off. But as we look at this back line is laid out for San Diego, this looks like a set move. Let's see what they got in the barrel.
Tom Bliss is in now, scrum half. Took the ball, intercepted.
Spike Davies.
It's going to be another try for Spike Davies. He is across.
Spike Davies, 5. Well done.
For another 5 for the Aviators. And if there was ever any question about the ultimate result here, it has been resolved now.
No, the way, give this man some credit. He read it well. He intercepted it, put on the afterburners. You're not going to stop that. 5 points. Let's have a look at this. He read the play.
You can see the facial expression, oh no, when he gave that ball up.
And he put it under afterburners and all. There he goes. 5 points.
No one going to catch him, and there'll be 2 more here. That's Robbie Shaw, tees it up.
That's 12 tries. And he's racing to the top as the top point scorer if he continues in this space, as Robbie Shaw puts on the extra 2.
30-point lead at 39-9, and once again the Fortress repels all attempts at invasion.
Yeah, no, coming to play Ohio at home thus far is a daunting task for any team.
In San Diego, they got into town at 11 o'clock last night, so obviously it was tough after making a cross-country trip. But those are the same travails that Ohio had to undergo many times, basically every time they go on the road.
Yeah, traveling is still something, you know, as the years go on, it's always difficult to travel, and we'll find new and better ways to overcome.
Now look at that.
That is
inside offload to Taylor Howden. McIntosh picks up the ball. There's a deft little pass.
There goes Hutting.
And Hatting is out in the open. Ohio really starting to break things wide open now. See some excellent, precise ball handling skills, even by big players in the forward pack.
Calm holding on to it.
Taken down, releasing the ball. They maintain possession. Shaw scoops it up, out for Suniula.
Find the gap.
And he breaks free. Suniula gives it off to Kyle Bailey.
Bailey,
and
long legs.
He is into the red zone.
He's got that long legs.
And uses them to good advantage once he gets out in the open field. Ball
Advantage.
knocked backward, they give advantage.
Alex Aitken holding 4 guys or 3 guys trying to bring him down. He's standing strong, ball went out. Referee said there was an infringement. And look at that, Robbie Shaw just kicking it out for the line out.
Alan Hansen and Angus McClellan, also another former player with USA Eagles experience, coming onto the pitch.
Yeah, now substituting the bench.
Bryce Schilling, 16, and Calais Conrad, 22. We saw him the last time that San Diego was here. Player we haven't seen yet is Jean-Baptiste Gabelet, who is a very, very highly decorated French international star.
Yeah, plays on the wing and in the center, extremely dangerous player.
All right, here we are.
He was injured, he's made his debut against Denver, got hurt in that first game, and he has played sparingly for them since. They had 12 internationals. San Diego had more internationals than anyone in pro rugby.
Well,
a lot of them have been out at various times, though. They haven't gotten the group together.
Sebastian,
and here's a chance now. Calm
goes
close
over.
To the line, and he's over.
And he will stay in second place on the all-time try-scoring list for pro rugby. Look at that smile.
Yeah,
you go, you good thing.
He's got 10 for the season now. And Ohio has just exerted their will completely on this match now.
Yeah, no, that's, you know, excellent. Once again, after line out, Sebastian Calm. Look at that, just going over 2 guys can't stop him. And the Butcher right there again in support. Look at the Butcher right behind him, helping him over. Boom, 5 points. Sebastian Calm might have to buy him a cold one tonight for the assistance there. In the spirit of 4th of July and all.
It is now a 35-point margin, possibly going on more.
Robbie Shaw looking at the goal. Comes forward. Excellent contact.
Not quite across the face there.
Flag
Didn't miss
stayed
by
down.
much, but the score remains 44-9. And then the question is, Ohio has yet to fail to eclipse the 50-point mark in any game that they have played this season, or at least equal or eclipse the 50-point mark in any of their home matches. So they need another try to keep that record intact.
Well, it's that, but for San Diego, it's time is running out, and with being able 4 or 5 converted tries to get them in front,
I'd say
it's a tall order.
Let's face it, the sun is set on San Diego's hopes to win this match. They played a very strong first half, and if they had been able to take advantage of a couple of really glorious opportunities to score, they could have made this really interesting, but it was the Ohio defense twice stopping them on the try line behind the ball, and once the Butcher coming and catching the man who had gotten behind the defense. That took potentially 3 tries away from San Diego.
Don't forget that Ohio played for 10 minutes with only 14 players, and San Diego couldn't capitalize on that. You know, that's going to go down as one of those pivoted points where Ohio overcome.
And in fact, Ohio expanded the margin during that time.
Hunting going up.
A very, very powerful side. That's becoming more and more evident with each game. Suniula gets inside the 40. And ended up losing the ball. In fact, he lost it to his brother. Rolling to Drew. Those guys are very competitive. For the match, said they're going to be going after each other. As you could well expect.
You know, in the rugby communities, you have more respect for somebody hitting you harder. And the harder you get hit, the more respect you have. And I think in this case, the 2 brothers going at each other is testimony of that.
Ryan Cochran is on for Ohio with the 0-0. And there is Kunkel now, Chris Kunkel from Bel Air, Maryland.
You know, the momentum is with Ohio. They are the team going forward at the moment. A little bit of a forward pass. Referee spotted that. Federini saw it differently if you saw the way he shook his head. Nevertheless, the whistle, and now we'll see the scrum with San Diego defeat the ball.
Mason Peterson, 17, on for San Diego as the team's putting the reserves out. But one of the reasons Ohio is so strong is their reserves are such strong players as well that they can even actually simulate the strong players for their opponents in practice and really feel like they are simulating game-like conditions against those players.
No, absolutely. I mean, your first team is going to be, at the end of the day, your second team, if you want to call it that, is the building block for your first team. And depth is what it's all about.
San Diego threatening. Now, they scored a couple of late tries to make the score more respectable. They lost 55-29. They scored 2 tries.
Excellent tackle by Robbie Shaw.
In the latter stages of that match, trying to get some consolation tries here. And maybe a bonus point out of the deal.
That's fine.
That's the big man Hunting going really low on his opposite number.
Backward.
There's Terori in there.
Backward.
They swing it back to Conrad. He scored an important try in the Denver match after that long run back by Mikey Teo.
Let's go to the referee. Ohio going over the offside line.
You're kicking at it
Derek Van
uncontrollably.
Klein from Minnesota out there.
Hear the ref there. He was kicking at it rather than offside.
He's on.
Conrad back for Tua Halamaka. A dynamic 8-man, but another one who hasn't really made his imprint on this match. So much talent on this San Diego team that has basically been held at bay by Ohio's rugged, stout defense.
Okay, we're going to see some cards here. That was malicious once again. Referee said
Tackle assist coming from the wrong side of the tackle.
That's one too many in the red zone, as Ohio have been warned before. Little.
And this is the time of a match where sometimes tempers flare a little bit.
No hands.
Yeah, Ohio fighting really hard to, to stop the try. And
there goes Teo, and he hands it off, and Tom Bliss goes over. So for the first time, we see a little flash of the exploits of Teo, but long after the issue is settled as far as the result.
You're on it there.
Tom Bliss came in at scrum half for Charlie Purdon, ends up scoring.
Look at that. Beautiful offload. The 5 points.
That's why Mikey Teo has played with the Eagles.
Yeah, no, he ran into the gap, drew the defense, and then popped it up for the pass, and 5 points, and rightfully so.
As a fan, you can almost feel a certain sense of disappointment that we haven't even gotten to see him make one captivating run all match, but all credit to Ohio for the way that they've just simply not allowed that. I guess this one we just saw would be the closest thing to qualifying.
So it's going to curl in 2 points.
That makes it 44-16. So San Diego again doing much the same thing as they did the last time, scoring a couple of tries to enhance their final total well after the issue settled.
Ohio will play the rest of this game with 14 men on the field. And as they lost one, that opened up a gap, and San Diego this time capitalized real early on that. But unfortunately for Ohio, like I said, it will be 14 men against 15 for the remainder of the game.
Ohio stands to go to 7-3. That ball just lost. Trying to make a couple of moves, and the ball just slipped away. And Ohio comes up with it as a result. He played out Mizell out wide, and big tackle there by Mateus.
Called a suicide pass. Kind of sold his mate out there a little bit.
And the Butcher gets thrown 13. To the ground by Mateus.
13.
And San Diego again saving their best for
13. Offside.
What you would call mop-up time. Although they played a strong first half. Certainly the most competitive half I think that any visiting side has shown against Ohio this season. And they went into the second half with a realistic shot at getting back into the match as they kick for touch, and we'll see a line out coming up here for Ohio.
Yeah, no, I mean the line out is going to be formed right inside the 22 of San Diego, but rightfully so, Greg.
In or out?
Ohio holding San Diego back in the first half is what get him to the springboard, and then the floodgates kind of broken a little bit here in the second half.
Had they failed to do that, San Diego could have been tied or maybe even ahead at halftime.
Yeah, you look at 2 missed conversions and a possible 5 or 7 points. That's 14. It could very well have been 20-20 at halftime, but as it stands, it's 44-16 for Ohio, and rightfully so.
The Grubber kick forward. Fielded though, San Diego.
That was meant for Alex Aiken. Touched in zone 1, and it got dotted down, and this is why we'll see the quick 22 drop in.
Ball is taken by Ben Leatagaga, and he is also he's a 7-star for the USA.
And then taken down by Chad Paul Joseph. Oh, look at this. As the bench, Ohio bench, is applauding their teammates.
What number's coming off?
Epi Kalamani coming on for San Diego. His player is down. Still some key guys they don't have. Hubert Bidens from Canada and International with 12 caps in their forward pack. Zach Angelinen, who is a capped USA Eagle, an outstanding USA rugby figure. And Taco Nguyen, maybe their biggest loss, who plays for the USA. Right winger that is really, really a aggressive, skilled player. They miss him dearly in this match.
Well, there's with 3 minutes to go on the clock. Robbie Shaw gets to feed the ball. This is a very favorable position. It'll be interesting to see if they play the blind side. You see Spike Davis standing back. Lots of options. Steady scrum. They go with the back line.
Wide. And Mizell off for Suniula. He's that ball down quickly. They get to the breakdown point very fast. And now Kunkel. Back it goes for Ferrarini. And he is thrown backward at the edge of the red zone.
Still have possession is Ohio. Robbie Shaw pulling the big men to come in, and they're going to play with the forwards.
Why not? They've been very, very effective that way.
Well, it's good in many ways because then, it also runs down the clock. By keeping possession, they are definitely keeping San Diego away from scoring at the same time.
It's one of the biggest reasons why guys might like to play rugby if they're big guys. Tell me an offensive or defensive lineman in football that wouldn't like to carry the ball. And here they get a chance in this sport.
Greg, I couldn't have said it better. And but let's just set this last play up. This could probably be one of the last plays. The scrum is right in the middle of the field, under 22. That's a 22 line right behind you of San Diego, and this is right in the middle of the field. Now, there's options galore going on right now. I'm sure they would have practiced a number of moves of this position. This is copybook stuff or textbook stuff.
Hadding comes out with it. They work the blind side. Played forward.
A lot of pressure. Ball got kicked out by San Diego, but whole back line is offside, is what the referee is going to say. And here they come. San Diego, do they have something left? Can they get another one on the board?
Bliss, who got that earlier try.
Red.
And they get it out to the halfway line. And here's a chance for Mateus breaking through. Here's a guy who also has not shown his capabilities until now. He gets within just a couple of meters of that try line, got thrown down. Very impressive that they could run him down. He's got blazing speed.
No, the defense all over. What a great run. Now that's a try line. Can they get something here in the last dying seconds with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go?
Trying to get another consolation try, as they did the last time they were here. Trying to make this score a little bit more respectable and maybe a little bit more in keeping with what they deserve.
Do remember, it's 15 playing 14 men at the moment, with Ohio have one in the bin.
They have not been able to just blast it over from close quarters yet. They go out wide here, try the left side.
Play the overlap, San Diego. You should play the overlap. You have the man in the bin. Go wide. There's an overlap. There's overlap so wide. If San Diego can get the ball wide, it will be a try.
And they do get it wide, but met by 3 defenders.
Too slow. It's too slow. It had to come up.
And they are still trying to get it over, and they just have not been successful.
Spike Davies has the ball in hand. The referee is going to review that.
It was a knock on, but there should be a penalty for 6 red offside. So go back.
No try, offside red, penalty here white.
So there you have it. To touch the touch judge and the referee conversed over that. There was a knock on, but they'll go back for the offside penalty. 21 seconds to go. This might very well be the last play of the match.
And San Diego's last chance to blast it over.
You know, you want to see them suck the defenders in and then play the overlap. There's a man missing for Ohio.
Ohio, meanwhile, would like to punctuate their defensive effort with yet one more goal line stand.
Out. Red. No. No.
That's the try line. And the try is given.
Just as full time is reached.
Referee. No, the referee. Yeah.
And here they need to intervene and break this up. A couple of guys scuffling. Dargan is one of them.
Scott, you take here. Guys, no more.
And hopefully this will not break out into anything more than a scuffle. But still, you see some serious expressions down there. They stare daggers at one another.
What they were saying there was happy 4th of July, and we're going to have a few orange juices here after the game, and everybody's invited.
Which is actually the case.
Okay, so we have the scuffle off the ball, nothing in it.
Yeah.
The gentleman with the white headband has come in and engaged with 16 yellow, and they've flared it up. However, we are at full time. There's a try scored.
Yeah. Try.
Well, you heard they got
I'm
it.
on board.
The final try.
We're going to see a try, and we might very well see a penalty on the middle of the field. Or the referee may very well call the end of the game.
I think that would be a wise thing.
Yeah, it's nothing in it. It's all in the spirit of 4th of July.
We've certainly seen our share of fireworks. So 44-21. San Diego can at least say they're the first team to hold Ohio below 50 here at the Fortress, though they failed to scale the wall.
Somebody just hold it for him quick.
You're going to have to hold that ball. San Diego not scoring a sufficient number of tries for a bonus point, and the kick is wide, and so the final score will be 44-21. That's the 4th straight win for the Aviators. They go to 7-3, the 4th straight loss for San Diego. They drop to 4-5 on the season, although without a doubt, it is the strongest performance by an opponent, a visitor here at Memorial Park against the Ohio Aviators, and it does serve notice as to something that Paul Barford said before the game for Ohio, and that is they need to treat every game individually and every game as one that can be won or lost depending on the effort. And certainly the defense for the Aviators came up big in the first half. Had they failed to and allowed San Diego to take advantage of one of several opportunities, or 2 or 3 of several opportunities they had in the first half, it might have been an entirely different story. And this is the first match that we've seen on this pitch where you could realistically see that if a couple of things had broken the other way, we could have had a different result. But Ohio's defense was just so solid.
Show what not to do. Right.
And enabled them to leave the pitch with a 20-6 lead. And then their offense took over, and it was Katie barred the door. San Diego was able to come up with a couple of consolation tries, but it was, again, small consolation as they fall 44-21 to the Ohio Aviators. With this victory, Ohio will remain at the top of the standings in terms of points in pro rugby. San Diego plays Denver in their next outing. That will be a big game. At San Diego twice they had Denver. Once they lost at the try line, once they lost in the final moments, and they had led right up until then and throughout most of the match.